Who is worried about the economy dropping right now? Raise your hand. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to yourself, right? Yeah, we're all worried because things are going to change. Things change every single day. What opportunities can we draw from those changes? Because this is an opportunity for us to sharpen our axe for a different tree. But there is an opportunity to be had here, people. And it's the mindset is finding the opportunity. When somebody says everything's going to crash, everything's going to go to shit, everything's going to blow up. Okay, great. What does that mean for you? Just because somebody's preaching doom and gloom doesn't mean they're actually believing it. Sometimes you ask them, all right, what do you want to do about it? And then they say shit like, well, I need to, hold on to as much cash as possible. Okay. Is being liquid in cash going to be a smart option right now? How long are you going to allow your cash to sit in an account, not making any interest before you do something with it? And then find a game plan. Because right now it might make sense for them to hold on to their cash. Because if the market does shift 10%, they can pick up something for $20,000 off. But what if it doesn't?
Then they spent that whole time not utilizing a investment property and not making money every single month that they waited.
Yeah. So either you could tell people to do it now and shield themselves from the potential of losing out, or you just stay in their ear every month, every other week, however fast the market's changing. Hey, Stormy, it's Big Dan giving you an update. I know you watch the market on the news and stuff, but here's what I'm seeing from the inside of real estate. Prices up, interest rates down, blah, 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 whatever. Give them an update every couple of weeks, every month or so. Then when the time comes for them to make a decision, is there anybody else they're going to go to? We wait too much for people to be ready for us instead of going out there and making them ready to hear from you. We all have cell phones, we all have voices, and most of us have hearing. We can go out there and start conversations that will allow us to create opportunities. If you sit around and wait for things to happen, you're going to miss it. Sometimes opportunity doesn't knock, it just runs by the house. You have to go catch it. So when you got people that want to wait, find out why. What is it about waiting that's important to them? But don't push somebody into something that doesn't make sense, right? Maybe waiting does make sense for them financially and for their family. I get it. Maybe it doesn't. If someone's sitting on $250,000 in cash in their bank account, they're wasting money because it's just sitting there dying. Every day inflation goes up, their value goes down. One of the best things you can do is advise somebody to make a decision, get into action. Now, let me ask you this. Even with the market being high in prices, interest rate being high in prices, is it beneficial for some people to buy a house right now? You have to believe it. So if you're paying 7% interest on a $200,000 house, what's your payment? Is what it is. Now, that means part of that money goes to your payment, part of that money goes to the principal. So the interest is 7%. If you're paying $1,800 on a rental property, how much of that goes towards the interest, and how much goes that to your principal?
100.
You're 100% interest on a loan you can never pay off. Isn't that a different way of looking at it? So some people need to rent to be a launch board to a new opportunity, and that's okay. Have an exit strategy for them. Have a game plan. Set them up for success. But if people don't need to and they have an option of buying, in the long term, it makes more sense, even with prices being high, even with things being a little wonky. The school system failed you. We didn't talk about investments and money and assets and debts and net worth nearly enough because they were hoping you would live long enough to work your 40 years in a factory and kill over before the pension paid out. If you guys research a lot of this stuff, I want you to dive deep into the mindset of a millionaire. Look at the money, look at the tax advantages of ownership. So you can help your clients out with it, right? Why do you think there's so many damn rich people in real estate, right? Do we work 9 to 5? Do you have to man your station and put the antennas on the cell phones and pass them down the line? No, we work for ourselves. We dedicate our lives to ourselves. We create wealth for ourselves. We think differently. That's why there's so many rich people in real estate, because it teaches us to think differently. We must then teach our clients to think differently because so many people out there are taught systems that don't work. We live in scarcity. We think 9 to 5. We think Monday through Friday. We think paycheck to paycheck. I never understood how much my job, my job, just over broke, was killing me until I got away from it. I never understood how much money I threw away renting until someone made me do the math. I scraped and I scraped and I scraped to get every dollar and cent I could to get out of that situation.
Dan, I think I missed a part, but I wanted to hear it again. You said if your systems ain't working or what, or something about the systems.
If systems, we can go back to, we talk systems models. If the systems and models you followed aren't working, change them. Follow systems and models of more successful people. Go ahead, Stormy.
So how do we weigh that? In other words, how do I say the systems and models I'm using aren't working in a shifting market? Because in a shifting market, automatically, are we gonna do less business?
No,
Or,
not necessarily. Here's an analogy I think everyone, especially Mike right now, can understand. You're riding a bike, right? And you're pedaling at 2 or 3 strides per minute, like a consistent stride, whatever, 2 or 3 strides a second. And then all of a sudden you're now coming up to a hill. If you keep your pace the same, are you going to move at the same speed? But if you keep your pedal stride the same, your bike moves the same speed. It's just harder to pedal. We all think because the hill's there, we're going to slow down. But if we keep our consistent pace, we keep the lead generation in place like it was, we won't lose stride. We may have to push harder. We might have to put some more effort into each stride, but as long as our stride count doesn't change, our momentum won't either. So the systems and models can still be successful. You just might have to work them harder. A shifting market is no different than riding a bicycle up a hill. You're going to have to realize it's going to take some more work. And if you want to get to the top, you better push hard. Because if you slow down or you stop, guess what? You go backwards real easily. But once you get to the top of the hill, things change, and then what happens? We then create this opportunity for us to zoom ahead. But like Stormy says, we got to weigh what's working or not. And that's easy. Look at what you're doing. Is it working? Yes or no? Measured against somebody who is working it. Right? If you're being creative, you're not working off a system and model. You're just being entrepreneurial. And there's nothing wrong with that if you want to be a statistic. But if you want to be successful, weigh it against someone who's made it before. The MREA, the Shift book, are both books written in markets like this, based on what successful agents before you have done, the strides in every one of their pedals, how their bike is built. It gives you the roadmap to success. And if you're not doing it, then you can't blame the system. We have to change our stride. We have to change the way we're doing things. So what are you going to do today to make sure that you're pedaling right? People search for novelty. Unfortunately, it's not where you get success. We do the boring extremely well. Be successful in the boring. All right, guys, I'll see you on the 1:30. Big high fives this morning.